Fletcher. Welcome to Chats with Alex. How are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Um, we connected with each other because of our mutual friend Tusked.
Yep, Tusk had the Dutch Americana country singer from the Dutch lands, the Netherlands.
How did you guys get in contact with each other?
We met through Jasmine Dean, who's a New Zealand pop singer. That's where we met through her, really. I think he started following me after she put me on her story, and I think that's how we got connected. Yeah.
That's cool. She's my friend too.
She's an amazing human being, super genuine. Uh, and she is from New Zealand, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I was over here really hoping that I didn't get the wrong island.
No, you're totally right on that.
Would have been
Um,
embarrassed.
so yeah, I'm just like curious to know how you got started in music and how did your journey first begin with like songwriting and when did you write your first song?
So I have no idea when I wrote my first song because I've kind of been songwriting my whole life. What really got me into music at a young age was Toby Keith's debut album with Should Have Been a Cowboy on it because I'd already liked cowboys. So, grew up on Western movies, already liked cowboys, and here's this guy playing guitar and singing about cowboys. Now, that was something I decided that I wanted to do, and I kind of picked up guitar from there. And after learning a couple songs, my parents had gotten me guitar lessons. And then I realized that I wanted to write songs too. And I actually stopped writing and playing guitar from about the age of 8 to 14 when I was a junior, I believe, in high school. And then I picked up the guitar again and went back into it. It was something didn't realize that I needed at the time because I I don't know, I had all this kind of stuff in me that I wanted to express, but I've never been very good with words as a just a standard conversationalist. So when I got really into songwriting, that is when I discovered Bob Dylan and Phil Oakes and the 60s folk singers, Simon and Garfunkel can be put in there.
I love
And
them.
they're fantastic. And the way they wrote in a way that contained a lot of characters, which a lot of
Uh,
my
it-
songs have a lot of characters. That's where I really kind of started to find my stride and footing of, oh, now I can write these songs with characters that everybody knows, and instead of naming people in my life, I can kind of give them a name and it gives them a little bit more of a background of what they were like as a person.
no, I totally get that. And is like songwriting like therapy for you? Like, how do you feel when you get the song out there on the page? What does it make you feel like after it's all done?
Um, that's a good question. It depends on how the song comes out. So if it comes out super fast, it's very therapeutic, it's very cathartic. That's my cat. Sorry. When it comes out,
What's your cat's name?
my cat's name is Puck,
Hi, Puck.
like a hockey
Yeah, yeah,
puck.
yeah.
Because when I first got him, he is pitch black, and he was the size of a hockey puck.
Very cute.
But I forgot what I was talking about. What were we talking about?
So,
We were talking about lyricism.
yeah, how does it make you feel when you write a song?
Oh, yeah. So if the song comes out pretty fast, it becomes a super cathartic, time kind of fades away. The world isn't real. If it takes me a bit of time, I tend to take pieces and just bring them all together and then write the song around them. So it really starts out as almost a poetry exercise before anything else. And when I've written something that I believe is very good, I get super excited and I'll be jumping around my apartment. I wrote something really good on the subway once, and I was the crazy guy on the subway, but it was worth it because it was something that I believe was really good. and it's going to be on my sophomore record, and I'm really excited to share it with people.
Oh, you've got an album coming.
I do. I'm actually headed to Knoxville, Tennessee this week to work on two more songs, and after that, I will have one more song to record for my sophomore record, and I'm really excited about it. We had to delay it a little bit, but if that's what it takes for this album to be where it needs to be and to do it justice, I'm okay with that.
Very good to hear. Great news. If you get that done, I'd love a copy of it if possible. I'd love to rock it
Oh,
in my car.
oh, I'll send you a DVD. No problem. Or a CD.
CD. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Um, so with songwriting, like, have you ever dreamt of a song in your sleep and woken up the next day? Like, let's say you get a melody or a line or something, and you wake up the next day and it's just in your head and you write it down, and it's because of a dream.
No. And I'm always jealous because I know that that has happened to people, but I have never had that happen to me. Never once have I woken up going, "Oh my God, that's it. That's what I need." That has never happened to me. It's usually somebody will say a sentence, and when they say whatever that sentence is, that's when I have this little purple notebook that I carry around in my jacket pocket everywhere I go. And I will stop in the middle of the street, pull over, lean up against a building or a tree, wherever I am, and write it down. And I have a notepad on my phone that you can scroll, and it's just a bunch of lyrics. Most I know will probably never be used, but I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've been afforded to write them down.
No, that's the best when you got something you can just quickly squiggle on. But
Mhm.
when it comes to melody, like I feel like one of the hardest things about songwriting is like when you do come up with a melody, it's like you have to think to yourself, like, is this already someone else's melody? And like, how do you go about like separating the one you've come up with from being similar to other artists' melody? And how do you know?
Yes.
It's a
My
tough
so
question.
the No, it's okay. The way I write songs is a lot of times when I'm sitting on the subway, I will have somebody else's cadence in my head while I'm writing out this song. And that can be a problem because when you take it back to your guitar or your keyboard, that can make it so you are copying their melody. And I will be the first to admit that I've had a couple of melodies, one specific melody, I'm not going to name the song, but one specific melody that is very, very close. And I wish it was further away from a song. Um, and the solution I have found to that is taking the song and just playing it over and over and over and over and over because a song will evolve over time. And as it evolves over time, it will become your own. And that is how you get, so it takes a lot of folding. Like when you make steel, you have to fold it, I believe. Or when you make a sword, you have to fold the steel. And if you keep on playing it over and over, eventually it will turn into your own song. Also, switching up the key that you originally wrote it in will change it up. Or if you have a strum pattern, changing it to a Travis pick or a finger style, that'll help solve the problem because it is a good way to write songs when you don't have a guitar. You can already hear the production in your head, but you need to take it away from whoever else's work it is. You had also said that, is this too close to somebody else's? There's only 8 notes in a scale. There's a really great chance that somebody else has written that song before you. There's been, you know, a bunch of a bunch of times in history where you're sitting there going, "Hey, isn't that song pretty much close to this other song?" Pretty sure Sabrina Carpenter had a song last year with I think it was "Manchild,"
She's great.
where great song, and I love that she has a guitar solo in there. The fact that there was a guitar solo and a chart-topping song was very important for music, but I know a lot of people were. saying the synth sounds very familiar, and you're able to trace it back to songs, and it's just gonna happen, you know? There's millions of songs written every year, and
Yeah.
eight eight notes in a scale. What are you gonna
Just do
do?
you. Yeah. Just do you. That's what I would say.
Just do
Yeah.
you. That's a great way to look at it.
So one other question I've got, which I just thought of now, which I would love to ask, is like, do you think people are born with a natural ability to sing, and like they're naturally gifted, as if it's like a gift from God? And if so, if you think that, um, do you think like there's other people who sing that, even if they're not born with that innate gift, that they can work really hard and gain the ability to be able to be a good singer and a good performer, even if they're not born with it?
No, I don't think anybody is born with singing it. Well, I think you can definitely be born with singing as a gift, but James Morrison or Jim Morrison, when he first started out, he, it's well documented that when the Doors very first started, Jim Morrison couldn't sing and he had to work really hard to learn how to sing. So anybody can learn how to sing, just like anybody can learn how to play the guitar. It takes a long time. Even I need to work on it. I myself am looking into doing singing lessons because I'm looking at this second record and going, all right, there's definitely been growth, but I need somebody else to help me reach that next level. You'll never not be able to reach a new level. So, yes, you can be born with an innate gift for singing. Aretha Franklin was born with it. Nina Simone was born with it.
Michael
But
Jackson.
Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson was born with the complete like gift. Everything. He could write, he could dance, he could sing. He had it all.
Have you seen the
Uh,
movie?
no, not yet. I want to. I want
I'm
to.
going tonight. I'm going to watch it
You,
tonight.
you're going, oh, man, you gotta text me and tell me how it is.
I will. Can't wait.
It looks so good. But yeah, no, you can definitely, yeah, it can definitely be a gift. But even if you aren't born with it, you have every opportunity. And if it's something you want to do, absolutely go for it. Get a singing coach or just really focus on teaching yourself. I'd recommend getting a singing coach because when the echoes are in your part of the reason you hear your voice differently on recording versus in your head is because you're also hearing the echo within your cranium. So you need to have a third party. So if you want to learn how to sing, get somebody to teach you how to sing.
Yeah, I'm
And yeah,
lucky because I've had my dad. He's been in the arts, so he's like always been there from a kid to like give me sort of feedback and stuff, which has been so beneficial to me and my growth.
yeah, I can't. Oh man, you're lucky, man. I am the first person in my family to do entertainment of any sort or be in the arts of any sort.
Something else I want to ask you is like, let's say you put a video on the internet and you think it's one of the best, and then all of a sudden you get some comments which may be like, I don't know, they may upset your feelings, and you're a young artist, let's say. What would you say to that artist when they feel like defeated and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. I want to delete this video and not continue doing what I'm doing because of these comments. What would
Well,
you
I've
say to them?
I have done that personally. I had a song that went mini viral last year, almost exactly around this time, called "It's All to the Queen's Dismay," and I got lambasted for it. I got destroyed. And for about a week, I was doing nothing but refreshing my Instagram to see all the horrible comments that people had left me. And I was really debating quitting. And so what I did, and what I
I'm
would
glad
tell
you didn't.
anybody, thank you. What I would tell anybody is go back to the pen and paper, write again, write again, keep writing, keep writing. And when they can reach through your phone and they can physically take those words, because if they saw you in public, they're not saying anything. They're not saying a word. Nobody's gonna come up to you in person. I mean, you got to think. The other thing is you got to think about how much cowardice these people have. They're not going to say it to you in person, but because they can hide behind their phone, I mean, look at how many of them don't even have a profile picture. It's either their cat or it's nothing. And these are people who, get off on hopping around the internet, tearing other people down. And the other thing is, taste is completely subjective. Do I think It's All to the Queen's Dismay is my best song I've ever written? Not even close.
Uh, what Winter in the Fairbanks is one of your other songs, is that right? That's one of my favorites.
Yes. I'm grateful for that. It's a B-side. It's a B-side that I haven't promoted too much. So I'm really grateful that you enjoy that song.
All your songs are great because, like, I can tell when you sing from your heart, when someone does, it's just for me about how the song is translated. And I really love the way you speak from your heart in your songs.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That genuinely means a lot to me.
I'm a big fan of yours and probably will be listening to you for a long time to come.
Thank you. And that's another thing. Like, you have a young artist who, they're getting a lot of hate on their feed. You amplify the negative comments. And Tuskhead and I were just talking about this the other day, how you can get 300 nice comments, but those three mean comments of people telling you to quit or that you're never going to make it. One, if somebody's telling you that, it's not about you. It's not about you at all.
Yeah.
They hate to see somebody else doing something that they wanted to do.
Especially if they know you or they're like in your circles or whatever and they're saying that. It's like, you know,
I wouldn't I wouldn't say in your circles, but definitely if they know you. Like I come from a very small hometown, and I can't imagine how much garbage some people have talked about me. But you also get to the point where if you break down all the people who are talking about you on the internet to your small hometown, you realize how irrelevant it is. Like, who
but
cares?
also, like you said earlier, like when they see you in person, they're all smiles. So, like, they put all the stuff on there. But then if they see you, they're like, "Oh, how you going? How's everything going today? I've seen you do this or I've seen you do that." And then they're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, yeah, they're never gonna say it to your face. And if they're never gonna say it to your face, who
Don't worry
cares?
about it. Keep going.
The way I see it is when I songwrite, I feel as though, or when I'm writing lyrics especially, it doesn't feel like I'm doing it. It feels like it's coming from a third party somewhere out in
Yeah,
space, which might
I get that.
sound absolutely but you feel it. In every songwriter I've talked to, they've all felt that before. It doesn't feel like you're doing it.
But
Now,
also, I wanted to say you have to remember, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for you or are you doing it to please the other people that are listening to you? And you have to always keep that in your mind. Like, I'm doing this for myself, not for anyone else.
that is also true. And I'll loop back around to that real quick. If I see these lyrics coming in as an almost metaphysical thing, and I'm not really the one writing it, who am I more likely to listen to? This, once again, metaphysical energy that has literally chosen me. And this is going to sound insane, and probably a lot of people are going to say, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" But this stuff is coming from the cosmos into you and going through you like a radio station or some guy on the internet telling you you suck. And so I'm not trying to get into my beliefs here as a songwriter and talking about muses and such. The other thing is, like you said, who are you doing it for? And kind of, I agree and subscribe to what Rick Rubin said of, I created this thing for me, and I think it's cool enough to share with all of you. Because at the end of the day, everybody has something to say, but nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. Even I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
I don't know about you, but for me, if I could say something to myself like 12 years ago when I first started, I'd be like, bro, just don't worry what people are saying, you know? Just focus on your goals and what you want to do and don't be deterred by anyone because in the long run, it doesn't even matter. It's just like publicity that if they weren't saying anything, you wouldn't be important. So just keep going and like don't be sad. Don't be sad. Keep your chin up and keep going. What would you say?
Absolutely. 12 years ago, 12 years ago, I'd say get writing because you're not working on music yet. And when you're 27, you're going to wish that you had been doing this since you were younger. Um, but there were a lot of things that had to happen in order for me to get where I am. and it had to happen at specific ages because a lot of the stuff that inspires me happened to me while I was in college. So, um, yeah, I had to have all that stuff happen first, you know.
Yeah, go through some life changes.
I needed some life changes, and they were brutal, but yeah.
I'm wearing a t-shirt. This is a t-shirt for one of my singles that I've created. It says "Feeling Free" on it. And
Okay.
what I was
I dig it a
wondering,
lot.
thank you. What does feeling free mean to you?
That is an excellent question. It kind of blindsided me for a second here.
Yeah.
There is a place in northern Ontario, uh, on the Upper French River, and if you can drive up there and get a boat ride out there, and you get your own little cabin, and you drive out onto your boat, and you're in the back country for a little bit, and it feels like you're the only person on the face of the planet. You don't have any cell phone reception. Nothing can bother you, nothing can touch you. That is what free is to me. Nothing can get you, nothing can touch you. And maybe that's me being the most avoidant person in the world.
No, it's a good place to be in for sure. Yeah.
But somewhere that you are
For me, it's Greece
relaxed.
at the islands, chilling on the beach, having a beer,
See?
drinking a souvlaki, eating a souvlaki.
You know, I had a gyro for, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I had a gyro for lunch today, and it was amazing. It was really good. It had a tahini on it.
Oh,
Big
not
tahini
tzatziki?
guy. Not tzatziki. No, it's a chicken souvlaki gyro.
Oh, beautiful. The traditional meat of Greece is pork, and that's the
Really?
main one. Yeah.
Really?
And when the
I
meat's like really soft and tender, really nice in Greece.
I did not know that. I I know Greece has really rocky terrain. That's all I really know. And I've seen like the white houses of Mykonos and the Parthenon. I'm an ignorant
Parthenon.
American. I'm
Would
an ignorant
you
American.
would you ever visit Greece?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
If
Yes.
you do go, you need to check out where my dad's from, Thessaloniki. It's like not very far from Athens, but it's like the hidden gem of Greece up
I
north.
would absolutely how do you, what would you say Thessaloniki?
Thessaloniki, Greece.
Thessaloniki.
Yeah.
That I would 100%. I went to I had the opportunity to go to Bermuda a couple years ago, and my sister wanted to explore the island. And so basically what she did was we hopped in a taxi cab, and she's like, I want to see what the tourists don't see. And I don't think the guy took us to where the tourists actually don't go, but he took us where less tourists go. And seeing those places and seeing how the seeing where the culture was built and the people who are there and who that is their everyday life is always amazing to me.
Nice. And you didn't disappear in the Bermuda Triangle, so I'm glad to see you're still here.
No, no, it's the Bermuda Triangles, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
Nice.
And when you see how shallow it is around the island of Bermuda, you see why so many ships sunk. Because what would happen is they'd hit bad waters, but it's so shallow that the bow of the ship would go into it and then just fall apart.
You know, some people, there's a conspiracy theory going around about this that like ships go into the Bermuda Triangle and actually disappear into another dimension.
There's so many conspiracy theories these days. Like everything's a conspiracy theory right now.
Yeah. You mentioned your sister. Is she supportive of you and your music journey?
I'm very lucky. My whole family is supportive. I think they're equally concerned just because how competitive the industry is. But my sister and my sisters plural, both of them. I'm the youngest of three, and there were two older sisters growing up, so it was certainly an interesting time. But my sisters and my mom are all very supportive people, and I am incredibly grateful for that because, when you tell your family, "Hey, I'm gonna be a musician," the first thought was, "Oh no."
Do they ever come out and watch your performances?
They do. They do. And there's always a lot of pressure when they do
Yeah.
because my onstage person is very zany, and when I hit those high notes and I do it right, it's a moment of, "Oh yeah, that's my little brother." And then when I start telling my jokes on stage, it's, "Oh man, dude, that's my brother. That's about right for him."
What's the community there like? Like, do you have open mic nights there? Do you ever go to any open mic nights, or do you do mostly gigs these days?
So I'm actually relocating for that purpose. So I'm going to be leaving Brooklyn because I would like to get into more of a gigging culture. The culture in New York City right now is very good if you're on levels above the one I'm at, where you're consistently selling out medium to large venues.
Right.
But there's very limited room for gigging in New York City.
Any open
And
mics around there?
there's open mics for sure. There's one called Pete's Candy Store. This is no joke. There's one called Pete's Candy Store. And yesterday, they have a Sunday open mic that's very legendary. Yesterday, Olivia Rodrigo was actually there.
Wow. She's
I
amazing.
wasn't there, but
Uh,
I saw a lot of my friends. And I'm not gonna
I
lie,
wish I was there.
I was kind of glad I wasn't there. That would have applied so much pressure. I'm really glad I wasn't there just because I don't think I could have handled it.
She's really beautiful and
She
talented.
is. She is. She is. Yeah, no, she gorgeous actually, but I'm not here to uh nah. I can't get into
Yeah.
that conversation.
No.
No.
So your album that you've got that you're starting, can you tell me a bit more about the album and like who are you collaborating with on it? Is it those two guys?
So right now my producers are two brothers named Fred and Jonathan Kelly, who own famous London recording studios and my record label Migrant Records.
Is that in London?
So no,
Oh, okay.
no, no, it's in Knoxville, Tennessee. They're very
Can you tell
big.
me a bit about them?
Well, they're heavily inspired by the Beatles.
Oh,
Uh,
same
that's where
here.
the that's where the famous London came in. They're they're really wonderful. I love how well they complement each other when I work with them. Fred, I find, is a very amazing producer, whereas Jonathan is a fantastic arranger. So when you're sitting down listening to a demo with just my guitar and my voice, Fred kind of locks in. He gets this weird look on his face and he starts chewing on his glasses. And by the time the demo's done, he goes, "All right." And then he'll pull out a pad of paper and he'll just start writing down every instrument that he thinks should be on there.
Wow.
And then we'll usually do vocals and guitar, since that's the base of everything is vocals and guitar. And then usually we break for lunch. And by the time I come back, Jonathan will be in what they call the piano room because they have a bunch of pianos. And he will have already started to work out a part. And it's really wonderful because these piano parts have never, it's very, for a guitarist, we just strum. And well, you should definitely do more. A lot of people get away with just strumming. Piano players don't have that. They don't have that ability. You're expected to do something, and he does such a wonderful job arranging a part that is complimentary of the piece and not boring.
So would you say like Fred is a bit of a visionary where he can like just put his mind in the future and like see things before they actually happen in his mind?
Yes, he has that ability. It's almost as though he can hear the whole song. And if he can't hear the whole song, what he'll do is he'll tell us all to stand up and we'll go into the main room and he'll grab a bass because he's primarily a bass player. Jonathan will hop behind drums. If Tuskhead is there, he'll hop on a lead guitar for
Hey,
me and I'll
Tuskhead.
Tuskhead, I'll I'll just walk him through the song and we all figure out where the song works together and then we go from there. And it's man, I feel so lucky to have the ability to work with people like that can just go on the fly because I'm not a guitarist. I'm just a songwriter.
Well, I
I'm
feel like you deserve that sort of treatment to work with people like that because like you've got the talent and I'm glad that people can recognize how talented and skilled you are because like, it's nice when people see that and want to work with you.
Thank you. They've done such an amazing job helping me curate my sound and I think it with this record it really comes through of all right, here's they'll take not to give too much away, but they'll give like a dash of Americana mixed with a dash of classic rock and sprinkle in some country and it's all and by the time they're done with the song, you're looking at it going, "Wow,
Yeah, it's like a
this
dream.
is amazing." It's almost as though I don't know, they just know me and
They get you. Yeah,
they know me. They know me as an artist, and that's something I don't think many people have ever actually been able to figure out.
that's great. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Um,
It's just a privilege to work with them.
Tuskhead, I've seen on his Instagram, he sponsors, I think, or he's sponsored by Vintage Guitars. Is that right?
Not anymore. Now he is sponsored by Siegel Guitars. He's endorsed by them.
Okay.
He's endorsed by Siegel and Silvertone, and it might just be Silvertone at this point.
But he's got a lot of like vintage guitars, doesn't he? Because
He
he used to
does.
be with them. Have
He
you
does.
ever gotten any? Because I've seen that they're in USA.
No, I am a one guitar kind of guy, kind of like Willie Nelson has his guitar trigger. I have my one guitar, and
Really?
her name is yep, I have one guitar. It's a Godin Fairmount acoustic electric, which I bought in Hamilton, Ontario with one of my best friends in the world. Her name is Jess. And so because that's who I bought it with,
Hey,
I
shout
I
out
made
Jess. Jess.
shout out one of the most wholesome people in the world and um she was the one who if she hadn't convinced me to walk into that guitar store, I never would have bought this guitar, which the way everything's kind of functioned with this instrument, I feel like, the tree grew for me. The luthier made it with me in mind, and it's just something I'm very grateful for.
So, like, literally, what you're saying is in your collection, there's just one guitar, nothing else.
I have a Gretsch that I never play, and I have a banjo that belonged to my father.
Whoa, nice. I'm sure that's
And
got a good
a
sound.
bass guitar. I have a bass guitar that I stole from my
Oh,
songwriting teacher, and I never gave it back. And that's it.
very cool. Um, have you ever had the pleasure of jamming with Tusked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've played guitar. The problem about playing guitar with Tuskhead is that he and I will get on a joke, and then we'll just laugh about it for about an hour and a half. And then what happens? Uh, we'll get to the point where it's like 1 a.m. and we'll just go, all right, well, I guess it's time for bed. We've been laughing about the same dumb thing for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So,
And a bit of whiskey drinking, I would assume.
yeah, dude's a big fan of old fashions. I'm more of
I
a
know.
vodka. I'm a big vodka proponent. Big
So
vodka
how
guy.
how long have you known him for? would you say?
I think Pat and we really started talking somewhere around 2023.
Oh, okay.
So it's been 3 years and then we didn't get to meet in person. He'd come over to the States in 2024 and he spent like 3 months here and we
Yeah, I know.
never actually met in person.
He loves
And
America.
then he d it's a rough place right now. We're in a rough spot. And now
But
this
you're
is going
good
on the
people,
internet, so
which
now the
is
CIA is going to come after me.
I'm sure they won't. You're great people over there, and I think that's why Tuskett enjoys traveling there is because he
He
loves the
does.
people.
He likes the people and the landscapes. He's a big fan of the Appalachian Mountains. He's a big fan of the desert Southwest. He's a big Texas guy. So
Nice.
yeah, he's a big fan of Texas and but
I
when
wanted
we first
to share with you a bit about how I first came in contact with Tuskett. That's right.
how did you meet him?
Through Instagram, when I first signed up, it was 2013. And not long after, I don't know when he created his account, but like I met him quite early on. And he's been like a bit of a mentor figure to me over the years. Like I don't know, he's just been so supportive of my music and my journey. And
He has that effect on people.
you know, it's just really cool. Like what he's the way he's been with me. It's been so supportive and awesome. So yeah, I just connected with him straight away.
He's a good guy like that. He's a great guy like that. Um, no, it
And
comes
he's
to
a
no
Star Wars
surprise that
fan.
he is a massive Star Wars fan. Massive Star Wars fan. Um,
Are
no,
you?
he's a huge. Yeah, no, I have a various number of Lego sets around my apartment, and I actually hate moving sometimes because it means I have to rebuild all these Lego sets and put them in a new spot.
Oh, nice.
Huge Lego guy. I can't afford them, so I don't buy very many. They're usually just gifts. But big Star Wars guy. I love Star Wars.
What's
I
your
big
favorite one? The solo one.
probably Empire Strikes Back. And then I'm going to actually hop to the Clone Wars series for, favorite Star Wars movies and TV shows. So it's actually Clone Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith after that. And when I say Clone Wars, I don't mean Attack of the Clones. I mean the TV show because that started coming out when I was about 8 years old, and that show blew my mind as a child. I loved it. I absolutely adored that TV show. So
My
and then
cousin has a lightsaber from Star
yeah,
Wars.
is it one of the super like detailed ones?
It's pretty detailed, and I remember he brought it once somewhere where I was, and it was just like, wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm a big fan of just how big the Star Wars universe actually is. You can look up any background character and somebody has written a whole backstory for that person or that character. So I'm a massive fan of Star Wars and
Oh,
I really wish the creators would get into like the very early days. So there was that game, The Old Republic.
yes,
This
yep.
is a long time ago. But I wish they would get into that era just a little bit more to see the very early days of the Sith and the Jedi and yeah. But the
Like
shows
a
are so
prequel.
hit or miss these days. I thought Acolyte was not very good,
Nah,
but Maul Shadow Lord, if you've watched it, is fantastic, in my opinion. If you haven't watched the new Darth Maul series, my man, so good,
I'll watch it.
so good. S- Please do. It's so good.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
No, I haven't even seen
Nah.
all the movies. I've seen
You
up to
know
the
it's coming out.
third one.
There's a new
Yeah,
series.
there is a new series. Is it on Disney Plus?
I think I'm gonna say it's on HBO Max, but I'm not too sure.
HBO Max.
It's coming at Christmas.
Right on. No, I maybe I should watch that because I read the first book when I was young, and then I saw the first three movies, and I just couldn't get behind it because, I get to about the third movie and think, man, this is great, but
J.K.
I
Rowling,
really
I'm
want to
like
watch Star Wars.
really Star Wars.
I really want to watch Star Wars over Harry Potter.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
What were you gonna say though?
No, I'm just like really inspired by J.K. Rowling, how she was homeless and then all of a sudden she writes this book and she becomes like, one of the most successful authors of all time.
It's true, and that goes for any form of art, whether it's, literature, songwriting, anything, it's gonna it's gonna take a long time. And I think, that goes into why a lot of musicians, I saw this thing the other day about why a lot of musicians fail, and it isn't because they aren't talented. It's because you go ignored for so long that your body and your nervous system just cannot take it. And on my worst days, that's what I have to remind myself of. This is your nervous system not being able to handle being ignored, because you're worried. This has been a big theme for me, and this is going to sound stupid because it sounds stupid every time I say it, but I sometimes worry that I'm, you know, I feel so silly saying this, but 27, and I look at all the people who are younger than me who have already done it up, and I'm sitting here thinking, am I behind? And the answer is no. The answer is absolutely no. Especially in this day and age of social media, anybody can blow up.
How old are you?
I'm 27. Just
Okay.
turned 27 this month. But sometimes you're just sitting here going,
You're doing great.
it doesn't always feel like that, man. Especially, being probably a little about two-thirds of the way through a record. I don't want to put any date on the release, and being an independent artist, and you see other people your age and younger, getting blown up and gaining real traction. You're thinking, what am I doing wrong? And the answer is nothing. And I'm saying this for anybody who might be going through the same thing of worrying that they're getting too old for this. And it's like, you really aren't, you know? Oftentimes I've found myself envying athletes because a lot of times in the arts, you don't know where to go next. When you're an athlete, you have a coach, or in your game where you're supposed to go next. But in American football, if you don't make it by 18, if you're not going to a college, it's very hard to get to the National League after that. And so I feel like, there's trade-offs. And I hope I don't sound like a terrible person saying all this stuff because age can be a sensitive topic. It's just
Nah,
like, yeah, I'm gonna
age is
stop
just
while
a
I'm
number.
already probably
And
behind.
I feel like age is just a number. And it's just like, you're as young as you feel in your mind. So, yeah.
I feel a
And
million in my head sometimes.
sometimes what I wanted to say is like some people, like, I'm not trying to make someone feel a certain way, but some people like never make it in music. And no matter how hard they try or whatever they do, they might not find those opportunities that they're looking for to make it. And, that's fine. You just have to continue doing what you love if you really love it.
Yeah, it really comes down to how long are you willing to be ignored for? Usually it's about 10 years,
Would
you know?
you ever consider going on something like The Voice? I know a lot of people that I know like do not, absolutely do not want to go on any shows like that. But like, would you consider it?
No, no, because I mean, you look at the people who win those shows, and aside from Carrie Underwood and a handful of
Kelly
other
Clarkson.
people, Kelly Clarkson, that's the woman whose name I've forgotten, you know, they go on those shows, and to make matters even worse, they went on those shows in the early days when they were still novel. You know, even the people who win those shows, they go on there, and for the most part, you never really hear from them again because those shows are so dependent on the the judges, you know?
Yeah.
It's more about the judges than it is the actual talent on those shows.
The other thing about like uh, TV and being seen through the screen, I feel like, once you're seen through the screen, people sort of change with you. And even people that ignored you for so long, or like you message people, let's say. And this is the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is like, how do you feel when you message someone and they don't answer you, or they say, I can't talk at the moment, or I'm busy, like I have other things to do? You feel like you are being sort of blanked in a way by people when you reach out to someone and they do not give you any time. Have you ever reached out to someone and they, uh, say, I can't talk at the moment, I'm busy, or
Oh
whatever?
yeah, all the time. Yeah. Now, now let me just make sure something. When you ask that question, are you saying when I reach out to somebody for the first time or for more than the first time?
Either or, like, yeah.
So when I reach out to somebody for the first time, actually, that's a longer answer than this one. When I reach out to somebody for a couple of times and, you get blanked, it's either one, I'm going to assume you're busy because I do not get back to people. You know firsthand, I can be awful about responding because I get overwhelmed so easily. Um, and then the second one is just, you know, maybe the opportunity I texted them with isn't something that they want to participate in. The other thing, when it's the first time you're reaching out to somebody, and if you get blanked, I kind of, I originally I used to take that really personally. So let's take the opportunity of you're trying to set up a show and you want to open for that person, right? One moment, please.
Yeah.
You want to open for somebody and and they blank you. When, like I said, when I was earlier in my days in music, I would take that super seriously. I'd be terrified that I freaked them out or I blacklisted myself or they think I'm a terrible person. And then it took a bit for me to realize that this is going to be horrible to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. The music industry is very transactional. There are very few legitimate friendships. A lot of musicians have their friends like Tuskhead is to me, but a lot of times when you get somebody reaching out to you, there is a good chance that they want something from you more than a relationship, more than a friendship. So if somebody blanks you, you know, don't take that personally, but actually try to, going forward, try a couple times to just see how they're doing, see who they are. And if they're still not about it, maybe down the road, because you never know who you're going to meet. And also, don't take it personally, but don't be afraid to just kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe your personalities wouldn't work well together at all. So like I said, with the industry being so transactional and a lot of people doing it just to, meet people for their gains and
Well,
having talked to people higher up in the industry, I completely understand because so many people are just so tired of being used.
I know. I've got a good story to share, which is sort of relatable to this. When I was younger, I used to surf. Well, I still do surf YouTube, as you do. And I came across someone who I really liked. I won't mention who this person is, but they're really like well known in the industry. And I just was like immediately hooked at what they're doing. And I was like, man, this guy looks so relatable and so cool. I wish I could have a chat with him. So I'm the type of guy that will easily reach out to someone that I like. And that's exactly what I did when I was about 16. And what I ended up doing is covering his song with another friend of mine. And I sent that to him. And I wasn't expecting anything back, but he sent me back this message. And he said, hey, I'm deeply touched, Alex, that you covered my song. And I really love what you've done with it. And he even shared it. So, like, when you see stuff like that and people like that who are willing to give you their time, just like you are now with this chat, it goes a long way. And ever since I connected with him, I send him one of my new songs and he provides me feedback with it in the emails. So it's like really touching for me that, when I was younger, I just reached out to this guy and he's gone out of his way to respond to my emails. And he's even sent me a happy birthday message at my 30th. So, he's really cool. Always totally appreciate him.
And that is something that I think everybody should take away from this. It's not hard to make fans, other musicians, it's not hard to make them feel special. Sharing it to your story, or now that Instagram has the ability to repost, sharing it to your story, that's huge to them. You know? It's a really big deal. And so that's why the people who go and ignore their fans, there is a guy, I'll counter it with another story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any names either. I have a friend of mine who covered this one song by a pretty well-known folk artist. And I know this folk artist, and he didn't say anything. And this guy wasn't big enough that he didn't see it. Like I know he saw that he got tagged in it. I'm over here going, man, I'm just not down with that. I'm not down with the fact that you couldn't like it or say thanks for covering my song or put it on your story. Come on,
So he's
man.
not like Ed Sheeran status.
No, he's definitely not Ed Sheeran status. He has a couple of pretty well-known songs, but he's also not, you know, too big to
Ignore.
ignore it. And so I'm just over here going, come on, man. One, I know you, so this doesn't really surprise me, but also, yo, change your ways. Because this dude went out of his way to cover your song, say in the caption how much he loved that song. And listen, I understand artists don't owe their fans anything, but they do have a responsibility to go that extra mile. Because you want to know what? You know how many people, you know how many musicians have actual fans? Probably less than 50% because there's a lot of artists out there and there's a lot of people making music. You do have a responsibility to your fans to make them feel special.
That's right. Totally agree with you. And it doesn't take a lot, like you said. Let's say I cover your song, Fletcher, then you like blanked me and said, "Hey, Alex, I don't know you." I'd be like, "What the hell?" But I
Yeah.
know that you wouldn't do that to me. You'd be like,
I
"Thank
mean,
you
I
so
might
much."
just because you said this, and if somebody listens to it, they'd think, "Oh, he got him." I wouldn't actually do that to you. Uh, but
I'd
no,
honestly
that
love
is,
to cover your song, though. Seriously, one of your songs.
I appreciate that. Oh, Winter in Fairbanks. I'll send you the
Yeah,
tabs.
do it.
He's turned this into his own personal gain now. Uh, no, if even somebody as big as Sabrina Carpenter can make fans feel important from stage, yeah. If you see anything covered by a fan, you should absolutely be reposting it.
I would even go as far to say repost it, not just on your stories, but on your
I will
actual
say the one
feed.
thing, I will say the one thing is I have had fans cover my song and send me the video, but I haven't reposted that. But it's only because they didn't put it on their feed,
Ah,
you
right.
know? So if they sent it to me in a DM and I didn't, it was because I didn't know if that was something that they wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a mate of mine, I can't remember, a while back. He covered my song River of Love. He's from Wales and he's got a really cool voice. And I reposted it on my feed. And then I commented on it, messaged him, and gave him a phone call and said thank you.
See, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's what, I don't think everybody should go as far as giving somebody a phone call. But seriously, just reposting or even as simply responding to the DM of this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and I'll say it a million times. I'll say it till the day they put me in the ground. It does not take much to make a fan feel special. And every
When I,
artist
yeah,
has that responsibility to a certain degree.
And Tuscan knows that too, because he's got that right attitude when it comes to that. I remember when I covered his song for the first time, he just like reached out to me and said, like, man, thanks for covering my song, Alex. I really loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. He is that guy. He is
And
that
guess what?
guy.
I even got to jam that song with him while I was
Wait, which
singing
song
it.
was it?
All right. Well, life
Oh, was the
really
song
ain't
all
that
right?
easy. You think you had it made. You had a girl who became your wife that really turned out great.
Yeah, I hate that song.
It's my favorite song. And I got to jam it with him.
I don't hate that song. Nobody here I keep on having to remind myself that people here listening to this podcast don't know my super sarcastic humor.
Yeah, I feel like that's one reason we connect well because we're both a bit like that sometimes.
Super sarcastic. I don't, I love Tuskhead. Don't get me wrong. I do quite enjoy his songs.
That's cool. Would you ever consider doing a song together with him?
We have talked about it. We have talked about it because we've had so much influence, especially on, so he's going to be releasing an EP over the summer here, right before I work on releasing my album from the fall all the way into next year. He has an EP that he'll be releasing, and I played harmonica on his EP, and
That's
he
cool.
plays guitar on my record because I'm not, like I said, I'm not really a guitarist, so I enlisted him as my lead guitarist. And so that being said, we've talked about, releasing it so how he'd do one of my songs, I'd do one of his. We honestly just haven't gotten around to it yet. That's something we'd like to do, but honestly just we're so busy working on getting an actual foothold in this industry that it's something we'd like to do. It's something I'd like to do. It's something he'd
Uh,
like to do. It's just something we haven't gotten around to yet.
I'm sure it will happen sometime. Uh,
I hope so.
I'd like to know, like, Fletcher, what's one of your biggest goals and aspirations for music? And, like, literally, what do you hope to achieve with your music? What do you want to do the most? What's something you like? Let's say, what's something you must do when it comes to music?
So I'd say, I want to sell out Massey Hall in Toronto because so many of my
Oh,
heroes, thinking about it 1 second, Rush, Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, they all played and
that's
sold
good.
out Massey Hall. Tuskhead has not sold out Massey Hall. I would love for him to be on stage with me when we sell out Massey Hall, having him play lead guitar for me. That would be amazing. I think that would be one of my proudest moments is if I had the opportunity to look at a sold out Massey Hall and turn to see my best friend absolutely ripping a guitar solo as I
And
got
then
drums
you
going
see
insane
me
behind me
in the
and I
crowd.
got you. Yeah, I got you there front row. Actually, you backstage. You're on the guest list. Um, that would be amazing. My other goal is this. I'm not in this industry for the money. I'm not in this industry for the fame. I have recently started saying I write songs to help people understand a world that doesn't understand them. That's my core audience. And I want to get this thing so big because I want that to be easily discoverable for people because that's what Bob Dylan did for me, because that's what Rush did for me, because that's what Tom Petty did for me, is they made me feel, and that's why I like, you know, poetic and insane lyrics, because finally, especially with Bob Dylan being all over the place on his records of just hopping from here to there to there, it made me feel so, as somebody with intense ADHD, it made me feel so seen because I've had such a hard time my entire life conversing with people and having them understand me. And to have this guy, especially on songs like for Bob Dylan, it's Desolation Row, for Rush, it's Farewell to Kings, and to be sitting there going, All right, the rest of the world doesn't understand me. These guys get it. These guys have been here. And if I could have the opportunity to have somebody sit down at the record player or driving in their car, having gone through a terrible breakup, not that I want anybody to break up, but having me be who they pick to listen to, that right there would be the biggest honor in the world is to be there to have somebody, feel like I'm there for them. I got you. I'm for the boys.
I love that.
100% for the boys.
That's awesome,
So
man.
getting a little
Um,
emotional talking about it. I can't lie because I know just that lonely feeling. I don't want
yeah.
anybody to have to go through it alone. I don't want that for anybody.
Hey, thanks for joining me today, Fletcher. I really appreciate it.
Man, this was amazing. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity.
A quick
And
little request. Do you reckon you could sing one of your songs, like the Chicago one? Maybe just a little bit of that one.
um yeah,
Back in Chicago, yeah.
yeah. Want me to do it? You want me to do it a cappella?
A cappella, all the way.
All right. I saw your name on a bookstore shelf and went to page 75. And I can remember the look on your face when you first had me read those lines. So how are things back in Chicago and how have you been? I've held on to every word that you've said in case I see you again, if I see you again.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How could people find you, Fletcher? Is it on, do you have a YouTube? Do you have Spotify, Apple
So
Music?
YouTube is something I need to work on a little bit more. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can subscribe at Fletcher Daniel Music. On Instagram, it's at Fletcher Daniel Music, and on TikTok, which is fading fast. And in a year from now, I don't think I'll have to be giving people my TikTok because it's gotten so weird. But it's at Fletcher Daniel Music. If you'd like to subscribe to my email list, you can find me FletcherDanielMusic.com is where I have my email list on the homepage. You can find my shows if you're in the States, Canada. I also love playing Toronto. And if anybody
Melbourne
wants me to come out
someday?
to like Melbourne someday, I would love to tour in Australia. Still scared of your spiders, but
Don't be scared.
if if you want to subscribe to the email list, I would be absolutely honored. And there's merchandise and so much more on my website. And yeah, if you're
What's your
listening to
website?
this, FletcherDanielMusic.com. It's all just
Cool.
Fletcher Daniel Music. If you type in Fletcher Daniel Music, you'll find me
And your Instagram, same thing, is it Fletcher Daniel Music?
at Fletcher Daniel Music.
I'm following you there.
I'm following you there.
Yeah. Something I want to know, just I was wondering, like, if you could have dinner with anyone alive, dead, who would it be that you would want at your table?
I've always wanted to be asked this question, but it always changes so much. Can it be more than one person, or does it have to be one person?
Make it five people.
Five people at a table. All right. Um, let's put we'll put Bob Dylan and Neil Peart and Geddy Lee. They all get to be there. You know what? Alex Lifeson. I can't have the trio without him. This table's filling up fast.
Don't
Tom
forget
Petty.
Tusked.
Yeah, Tuskcat. I'm sorry. I got a lot of questions that I got to ask other people. I love you, dude. I love you so much. No, we'll put Tuskhead there. We'll put Tuskhead there. We'll put Tuskhead there. We'll put Tuskhead there only because, and here's why, because Tuskhead is also a huge Rush fan. So I want Tuskhead to be able to ask Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee and Neil Peart and Bob Dylan if he'd like. I want him to be able to ask all these questions that he has because I feel as though we both have some just burning questions, especially for the guys in Rush. And if I can add a sixth guest, just because I'm going to be that guy who adds a sixth guest, I'm actually going to put in Alan Watts, who was a philosopher credited with kind of starting the hippie movement with a series of lectures he gave in the 1950s. Alan
Oh, that
Watts has
sounds like a
been
good group of people.
huge for me. The only problem with Alan Watts is through the advent of AI, too many people have started creating, fake recordings of his work,
Yeah.
and it makes me really upset when I hear them because you can always hear like the old tape recorder that he used, and when I don't hear that tape recorder, my first thought is this isn't real. This is fake. This isn't
And
real.
the problem I find with that Fletcher is like there's no soul in it. Like when you hear the
No,
thing, you
no.
can't connect.
That's why it's so offensive when people suggest that anybody, including myself, says, "Oh, your lyrics are AI." No, they're not, bro. No, they're not. And honestly, if you followed my page, you'd know how much I speak out about how much I hate AI and the environmental impacts it has.
Yeah, I've
So,
been writing my own lyrics since I was like 15 years old.
yeah, as soon as people, get uncomfortable or dare I say jealous, the old disease, as I call it, jealousy is the old disease. They just want to start, throwing stuff at it. When you're in the
Hmm.
lower levels, people say it's AI. When you get to the upper levels, everybody calls you an industry plant and everything in between. Yeah, I'll know I've made it when
Uh,
people start calling me an industry plant.
no, you're just one of those great guys, and I'm glad that we connected.
I'm super glad. I hope I can be back on the show when the album drops.
I can't wait to hear the album, and I'm really excited. Hopefully, I'll get to hear it in my car.
You absolutely will. I will send you a CD and you're going to be hearing a lot of Tuskhead solos on it.
I've
A
already
lot of
got all
Tuskhead
his
solos.
albums in my car.
Oh, but you don't have the Tuskhead solos on my record.
That's going to be an extra special treat.
Oh man, it's I can't tell you anything, but he did such a good job.
I
It's
already
so
know.
good. He's just so good. He's so amazing. And the next
In
15 minutes
every
we're
way.
talking about Tuskhead.
What do you want people to know about you? Like, what would you like people to know about you? Yes.
Wow.
The stage is yours.
I'll just repeat what's coming to me right now is I'll just repeat what I said earlier. I'm just somebody who's writing songs. I'm just somebody who writes songs for people to understand a world that doesn't necessarily understand them, and that I would never, I always hope. We had a president here in the States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and there's this legend that at his funeral procession, a guy collapsed to his knees in grief, and somebody said, "Did you know him?" He said, "No, I didn't, but he knew me." And I hope that through my lyrics, that somebody feels like, even though we've never met, I know them, and I just hope that I can help people through hard times.
I feel strange to
That's
say
all I
this,
want.
but I feel like you actually get me, and we haven't even met in real life, and I just feel like I can open up to you and speak with you as a on a human level, and I really appreciate that.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That is another thing is anybody who attends my shows from here on out, you know, I have RBF. I have pretty bad RBF. It's the German in me, resting bitch face. Uh, but I always love meeting people in public and being approached. And if anybody ever sees me and wants to say hi, just yeah, I'll probably be a little weird because I'm a super shy person, but I love talking to people and I love meeting new people and I love hearing their stories. So
Thanks for joining me, Fletcher. I really appreciate it, bro.
thank you so much for having me on, man. I can't thank you enough.
Have a good one. Cheers.
You as well.
You're standing at the door of my childhood.